I'm sitting hella taller than you are. Hold on.
You gotta go down like that. It's got to be that impactful.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit. Like I'm a midget around here.
Yeah, I mean. What's going on, everybody? B Scott here with
G.O.D.
And on today's show, we got the Super Bowl recap.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
We could say we could say it's the recap. I mean,
Okay.
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Kansas City World Champion Chiefs.
Yeah.
31-9.
Yeah, spanked them.
Yeah. If you listen to the mini and the preview, we already got the recap, but we can do this again.
That's all right. But anyway, we're going to go over some stats on the game, some crazy things that happened, and maybe a little preview for next season. So
Yeah, you know, Tampa Bay, you know what it is. Drop the logo.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. B Scott G.O.D. here, and we're going over the Super Bowl recap.
Again.
Yeah, hey, you know what? We're going to recap.
I feel like I've been going over this since the preseason.
That's okay.
Because I'm pretty sure I called this whole thing happening.
That's fine. You probably didn't call the Kansas City Chiefs not scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Hey, man, you know what? I feel like if Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce was out of this game, nobody would predict that they would get 0 touchdowns.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that Tampa Bay defense went to work. It's absolutely crazy. I feel like, you know, there's a first time for everything, right? This is the first time Brady went to the Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying, with a different team. This is the first time a different a team
Without
went,
Daddy Belichick.
Yeah, this is the first time a team went to the Super Bowl and had home field advantage. And I feel like this is the first time they should have crowned the defensive coordinator to be the MVP in the Super Bowl because, honestly, they had Mahomes on his heels.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He ran all the way home, matter of fact.
He did, yeah. My homie. But anyway, before we get to today's content, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb, bell, all the good stuff. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you want to hear us. Comment, let us know how we're doing. You know what I mean? We're gonna have all your off-season stuff, free agents, fantasy, all kinds of stuff. So obviously, we're gonna be here. So we'll jump right into it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 31-9 against Kansas City Chiefs.
Embarrassing.
The biggest question mark was the offensive line. It was exposed, period, and you saw it. And the worst part was Andy Reid didn't even address it, really. He didn't try and throw an extra blocker. He didn't try. He didn't try to help it out. They made the moves, and they just were like, "Oh, we're just going to roll with it." I mean, I get it. You got Patrick Mahomes. He's making $40 million. You know what I mean? $40 million a year. That's his rate. I get your understanding, and that's where a lot of people chose Kansas City to still win the game. They had a lot of hopes on Mahomes bringing it home, knowing the offensive line was going to have some struggles. Could I have seen this coming? Absolutely. I mean, they did not run the ball effectively, albeit they still averaged 7 yards per carry on the carries they did have.
I mean, you know.
Hey, they did. I'm just saying they did.
I feel like that's because Mahomes ran for his whole life. As a matter of fact, he ran 497 yards.
Yeah.
That were negative before he got touched. You know what I mean? So that is what it is. He was escaping the pocket early on, but they adjusted to that, and they shut that down too. I mean, you know, not even starting there. Let's not even start there. If you watch the mini preview, I told you, you know, if you're betting early, you might want to be careful taking the over, the under, the spread. I felt like it was too volatile to even do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to give the Kansas City Chiefs, they do, period.
Yep.
There was not 1 ounce in my body that said that, or even felt that the Kansas City Chiefs could win this game. You know what I mean? I really felt like, you look at what Brady went through. You went through the Dalton Washington football team defense, which they picked them apart.
Okay.
Then you look at his counterparts through his career. You know what I'm saying? Who was the best? You know what I'm saying? There's always been a conversation of that, period. Even though Brady won those Super Bowls. Breeze went through them. You went through Alvin Kamara, who was supposed to be unstoppable.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers. He came back with a vengeance this season.
Yeah.
MVP. You got Devontae Adams, who was supposed to be world beaten. Aaron Jones, who could not be stopped, who was Jamal Charles light.
Okay.
Right? Jair Alexander. Come on, man. He went through both of them. On the road. They won 3 on the road. That confidence builds it up different.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Back to what I was saying. You know, I told you to bet money line. And I told you I had my money on Tampa Bay. 80%, almost 90% of the public's money in this game were on the Kansas City Chiefs. Not mine, though.
That's okay. You know what? I think a lot of people, like I said, took the hype in the Kansas City Chiefs anyway. They strolled in at the end of the season. We talked about it. They really struggled. They couldn't put teams away. They weren't covering spreads.
Yeah, they weren't.
I mean, they weren't
One-score
beating
games,
nobody really. I mean, a lot of the teams they were barely beating weren't very good football teams.
Yeah.
So, Buffalo, they destroy them, and so you think, okay, well maybe they can come out and see. We'll see what happens. That's the last time we saw Kansas City Chiefs. So, obviously, there's a chance there. Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Even then, Tampa Bay throughout the season, they've shown their flaws too. They lost 3 in a row, albeit to 3 playoff teams.
Before they hit
Kansas
that,
City
Joe,
Chiefs.
before they went to the bye and addressed everything that they wanted to do, you got to understand that they were running strictly a downfield offense that is strictly Bruce Arians.
Yeah.
So when they got Antonio Brown that first game against the Saints, Brady threw his worst game of the season. Probably worst game in his career outside of being a pro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, his rookie year, I'm sure he had a bad game.
Yeah.
Here or there. You know what I'm saying? But looking into this, you know what I'm saying, after that bye, they were a different football team. They had the momentum.
Yes.
The defense started playing, and that team started to believe.
Yeah.
Now, going back to the bets, like, I told you to bet, you know what I'm saying, money line, and I told you to bet Tampa Bay. The reason why I felt like that was because I felt like that offensive line in the Super Bowl game would not be efficient enough to handle that 4-man rush.
Yeah.
And what they did, Todd Bowles is so genius. They hold too high. And what they really did was ran at Tampa too, which we've seen this before in the other blowout outside of Seattle.
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Raiders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That Tampa 2 is no joke. How you beat that Tampa 2 is run the ball.
Yeah.
Well, when you're down a couple of scores, it's hard to run the football knowing that you have to pass to catch up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like there was no offensive adjustment for Andy Reid. I feel like they didn't even game plan towards that. And I really feel like they just got out-coached in this one. Not only that, Tampa Bay had a lot of players, all pros on that team that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You look at the Lakers. You know how good they are. They just won a championship. You got Anthony Davis, LeBron James. I don't care how good they are. They're not beating the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
And that's what you had in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm just saying.
I got you. No one saw that Kansas City was going to score 0 touchdowns, right? I talked about it in the preview show. The one loss they really had, the true loss to the Las Vegas Raiders at the time, 42% pressured Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Without a true blitz. What happens in the Super Bowl? Same exact thing, except even more, even stronger. 59% he was pressured on, 29 dropbacks.
That's a fact.
Running for his life, plain and simple. And he even made some great throws that arguably could have scored some touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I feel like if he did land those throws, if they did catch that ball, this is probably, if they win the game, this is probably the best quarterback performance of all time in the Super Bowl.
You know what? He made some of the most. He made some throws that no other quarterback could.
Nobody.
Period. Except Mahomes, I would say.
You know, I bet even if Lamar was in that game, that would be the factor. You know what I'm saying? With that kind of offense, Lamar probably could have ran against him. You know what I'm saying? But Patrick Mahomes is not that kind of athlete.
Yeah.
He's just not. You know what I mean? And that's the difference of the football game. I mean, does $500 million win you a Super Bowl? Guarantee you one?
No. It's the NFL, man. Not there's very little things that do guarantee you a Super Bowl. I mean, think about some of the greatest quarterbacks that we've grown up to see. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning. How many Super Bowls those guys got? And look
Brady
how
just
great
went
they
through
are.
two of those
I know,
guys.
I'm just saying. But think about how great those guys are. You know, so it's like that tells you it's more than just one player that can get it done. Don't get me wrong, Tom Brady. You got to look in his career. He's never really taken top money. He's been on a team that's dominated the division for 2 decades. You know what I'm saying? He just led the New England Patriots. Absolutely dominated.
But I
division.
guarantee you, come Sunday night, come Monday morning, Coach Belichick probably had a hangover.
I'll tell you.
I know
what,
he was drinking heavily.
Well, think about it. The Patriots, especially, they're used to riding that home field advantage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for Brady to go on the road 3 straight games to win, that tells you a lot. And that defense played great. The front line, we knew if they could have dominated this game, and they did. Plain and simple. They don't. Who needs to blitz when you can get after the quarterback with 4?
And when you got those kind of guys there, I mean, usually you have a team or two that has a centerpiece like one of these guys. You got all 4 on this team. You know what I'm saying? And the fastest linebackers in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Tampa 2 was perfect for them to run. You got Whitehead back there. You got Winfield. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They shut that down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Kansas City Chiefs. Let's get to the penalties a little bit. Most penalties in the last 45 seasons. The most penalties in the Super Bowl since like Super Bowl 9, I want to say. That's what I got down here. 120 yards, 11 penalties. Most penalties by a Super Bowl team in the first half in NFL history. You know, obviously there was a couple questionable calls in my opinion, but this is the sloppiest I've seen probably of a Super Bowl in a long time.
Here's the thing, what I'll say.
Like, they played sloppy.
Given the line was 56, do those defensive penalties really make the game? Because, I mean, did they stop the Kansas City Chiefs from winning?
I don't think
they didn't put up one touchdown.
You're right. What they did do, though, they definitely affected that first half hugely. That game, and Andy Reid, even coaching. Andy Reid with the questionable timeouts.
2 timeouts, yeah.
And you give Brady, you
give Brady his trademark thing. He's going to try to score at the end of the first half period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he does.
Right?
That's what you just pretty much gift dropped it to him.
Yes.
Knowing that you were going to receive, he's going to go for it.
And period. They ran on first down.
Yeah.
You could have walked into the halftime down 14-6. Maybe you come out running the ball. Maybe you can get it into the end zone right there. Possibly tie it up if you go for 2. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that's a big swing.
I gotta make a statement. A guy that was retired came in the game. Gronkalicious, man. Yeah. This is probably the healthiest he's been this far in any season that he's ever played.
I'll tell you what, if Gronk, the shoestring tackle over the middle.
One more touchdown. I think one more touchdown or 40 more yards, he was probably the MVP. Easy.
Yes. You know what? I would have loved to see him win the MVP, albeit Tom Brady, he didn't play horrible.
I feel like that
didn't play great.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's a couple different guys you can give it to.
Yeah.
I felt like Gronk, he was pretty close. 66 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's huge. But, I mean, you got to give it to Brady there.
Yeah.
200 yards. He didn't make a mistake. 3 touchdowns.
Then also, what did I say? The yak on Travis Kelce. Just keep it in front of you. You got 13 attempts against Levante David, 8 caught, like 100-something yards, but they kept it in front of him. No touchdown, no nothing. And that's how you take care of Travis Kelce. You can give him that. I told him that he was going to eat.
Not period. Just that, of course. But I also, I said the same thing with McCole Hardman, Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? You're going to have to utilize their yak with this offensive line that was poor. Guess what? They didn't.
Yeah.
They expected to be able to get the ball downfield, and it wasn't going to happen with too high safety.
And I don't know why they expected that.
Change.
And I told you that they should have got the ball out faster, very quick, just catching off dump offs, you know what I'm saying, screen passes and shit like that. And it keeps the pressure off you. They didn't do that.
It was a poorly coached game.
What happened is Mahomes ran for 497 yards, but it didn't count.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is what it is. Brady got 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
That's greater than Michael Jordan. That's greater than anybody who predecessed him, period, in football.
Not just that, but
he is the GOAT of all sports, period, man.
He gets his 7th Super Bowl going to a team that was one of the worst winning percentage teams in the history
all time.
That's what I'm saying, the history of all American sports. So it's like, it's insane. A poorly coached game. I get it. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got a guy that's, world changing at the quarterback position.
Be there a couple more times.
I know, but I'm saying I felt like the Chiefs just went out there and was like, here you go, take us to the promised land. And it's like, man, I mean,
I think they also had the disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? This is the biggest spotlight of all sports, pretty much.
Yeah, of course.
There's the World Series.
Yeah.
There's the NBA Finals, but this is the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
one game,
getting there a day before, getting in Tampa, Florida, the day before to the actual game, and knowing media week is a big thing and practicing and everything like that. There's a huge disadvantage with that. You know what I mean? And I feel like they went out there with that makeshift line, and they just wasn't ready for this game.
Yeah.
I don't think that they knew that. Tampa Bay would switch up everything that they were doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just, man.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, we did this.
Yeah, like I said, it was great. So, let's get to some predictions. First off,
let's do it.
Tampa Bay. They going to be back in the Super Bowl next year?
I really think that Tampa Bay and Kansas City can bring this one back. I really do. I mean, you look at the AFC side of the ball, outside of Baltimore or Buffalo, you know what I'm saying? They got to address their weaknesses, right? But Baltimore, they have to address that offensive line, period. You know what I'm saying? We've seen what Lamar Jackson can do with a healthy offensive line.
Yeah.
They lost Yonda, the leader on that line. You know what I mean? And they have to address that. You know, going into the next season, they need a big time wide receiver. I really feel like Kenny Golladay is the answer. He'll be 27 next year, so he won't garner the money that a Chris Godwin would. And knowing that he's not going to get the pass receptions and he don't need it for his production, I think a big target like that downfield is exactly what they need to keep that offense healthy and to keep that offense honest. You know what I'm saying, with Marquise Brown.
Yeah.
And I think they will be back in Super Bowl contention easily if they address those two things, because that defense will be there to play. Now, I think with Buffalo to be different, right? They got a great secondary. You got Poyer back there, Micah Hyde. You got Tre'Davious White. Maybe you get Josh Norman back, right? But you also still need the pass rush and those linebackers to really hit you in the mouth.
Yep.
They don't have that dog on their team.
And they need a running back.
Yeah, they do need the running back, period. You've seen what Tampa Bay, you know what I'm saying, did in the tandem. Honestly, Leonard Fournette probably could have been the MVP of that game, which I was kind of expecting. You seen Rojo get started by that line, but anyway, we're talking about Buffalo, and you know, Josh Allen could carry you for a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
but I mean, when you go into these later rounds, it's gonna be hard for one player to do that.
Yeah,
or just 1-2 tandem. You need a running back. You need to fix the linebacking core. Period. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, Cleveland is coming. But do you see them in the Super Bowl in the next 2 years? I don't. Over Kansas City, I don't.
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah.
I think that Cleveland, I mean, maybe could possibly get there, but I ultimately think that Kansas City Chiefs and Tampa Bay could possibly run it back.
Okay. Tampa Bay's got a lot of question marks with the free agent market. Plain and simple. Chris Godwin, Levante David, Shaq Barrett. These are cornerstones on your team.
What makes it so perfect about them being able to try to retain these players, even if it's 1 year, you know what I'm saying? They can all take pay cuts. Brady, Mike Evans has already come out to say that they could take a pay cut. Brady already talking about he could play to 45. Maybe they extend that contract out a little bit.
Well,
what's significant about it is they playing in Florida. There's no property tax, so they can probably do this and live comfortably.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? As pro players, so I mean, there's a lot of things that could be had. Maybe they don't get to sign a Leonard Fournette back. That's fine. You get to see a Keyshawn Vaughn in the second year and try to be effective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. But you got to remember, Godwin's going to want a pretty decent contract. So Shaq Barrett. Both.
You know,
I mean,
it's crazy.
In my opinion,
I would let Godwin walk. I didn't see no production from him very heavily this year.
I got you. I understand. Antonio Brown came in, and you saw they put it on strong at the end. Godwin is almost a non-factor when Brown started, taking care of business. Godwin still is an absolute great receiver.
Yeah, you still
probably
got
the top 10 receiver in the league.
Tyler Johnson.
They do. They got some supplements. So not saying that they're going to highly miss Godwin, but Godwin for the long term is heavily needed. You got Mike Evans, who's over 30. You know what I mean? It's like right on that cusp.
And you feel
Antonio Brown.
And you forget you still got Brake there that's earning a lot of money too. He probably won't make that team next year. So, I feel like they got a lot of pieces there to figure out the salary cap. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, they could potentially be there anytime you got Tom Brady on your team. So, that's been the Super Bowl recap. Little predictions for whether we think the team's going to be back in the Super Bowl next year. And, all that good stuff. The wrap-up. Now we get to the offseason. We got free agents, fantasy, all that good stuff. So, for the first 4 downs, it's been B. Scott.
G.O.D.
And we out.
Tampa Bay. I told you.